Guys, welcome back to my channel Style Guys. See. Yeah, baby. On today's tutorial, we'll be talking on how to make this beautiful piece I'm putting on. This beautiful shirt dress with sleeves. Alright? So that's what I'll be talking on today. Yes. So if you have not subscribed, if this is your first time stopping by my channel, please kindly hit the subscription button. Alright, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell for more interesting videos, darling. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up, share to friends. Alright? Comment if you can. Thank you. Then I'm going to be marking the full length of my shirt. So my shirt is starting from here. This is my start point. Alright? This is my start point. Alright? Then from that start point, I'm going to be marking 8 inches, which is my shoulder line. Here. At that point, you mark 1 inch down. Let me bring the camera closer so I'll be able to see what we're doing. So this is my start point, which is here. I don't know if it is visible. This is the start point. Okay. Then, this is 8 inches, which is my shoulder line. From this 8 inches now, I'm going to mark 1 inch down, which is going to serve as my shoulder slope. Then coming to this point now, I'm going to mark, that's the middle. I'll mark 3 inches. This is my neck width. Then I'm going to connect it to my shoulder slope. Alright, so this is what I have as my shoulder slope. The next thing I'll do is, from this point now, I'll come down to 8 inches. This is my chest line. And I'm going to divide this 8 by 4 to get my armhole curve. Then from this point now, I'll come in by half an inch. So this is my half an inch. From here, I'm going to connect from the shoulder slope, connect to my half an inch, then make a curve into my armhole. Alright, I don't know if it's clear, if you understood it very well. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is, from here now, from the start point, I'm going to be marking 16 inches and 24 inches respectively. The 16 inches is for my waistline and the 24 inches is for my hip line. Okay? I think the chalk is a little bit faint. It's not that clear, but you have to manage it. So now, at this waistline that is here, at this waistline, I'm going to impute my waist measurements. The same thing to the hip line. I also impute my hip measurements. Then at the chest line, I input my bust measurements. Then I'm going to connect them together this way till I get to the bottom part of it. Okay. Then after which, I'll go ahead and cut this off. I've placed my fabric, folded it into just like what we cut it for the back piece. I'm still going to fold it in this way, and I'm going to place it on top. For the front piece, there's going to be space for button. All right, so I'm going to be giving 3 inches allowance or 3 inches space before I place this one. That 3 inches is going to be serving as my button allowance. All right, So that's what I'm going to do. That's the only thing I have to do now. Then I'll go ahead and cut it off. Sorry, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Don't mind my choice of words, please. Right, so this is what we have. Then we'll now go ahead and slit this open. So now for the neck, I'm going to be using 3 inches depth for the front neck and 2 inches depth for the back neck. All right, but for the front neck, that will be after I've folded in my button allowance. That's when I'm going to trim it off. Then the next thing I did was to notch where my button allowance is going to stop. All right, so when I'm done folding my button allowance, I'll go ahead to cut out the neck. But for now, I'm not cutting it out until I'm done folding. But when I'm going to cut it, it's going to be 3 inches depth, 3 by 3. Thing I'm going to cut out now is my sleeve. All right, so I'm working with 18 inches for my sleeve. Okay, or let's say 18 and a half. I want to exhaust this fabric entirely, so I'm working with 18 and a half inches. You can decide to work with 18 or 16 inches. Then from this top pattern, I'm going to be marking 4 inches. This 11, my bust measurement divided by 4. The 4 inches I marked downwards is my bicep or my calf line. Then here I'm going to be marking 9 inches. Then I'm going to connect it to this point here. Then the next thing I will do is to go ahead and cut it out. This is a normal sleeve. We have a tutorial on how to cut, draft and cut out your sleeve. You can check out our other videos. So now, this is what we have for our sleeve. I notched the tip here and also the down part here. Alright, so this is for our sleeve. Then we will now to cut out the ties that is going to be on the sleeve. I'm working with, you can use 6 inches, you can use 7, you can use 8 inches. So I'm working with 7 inches for my ties. All right, so it's just a straight or bold distance. So what I did was I multiplied, like my round sleeve of what I have here is 9 inches. All right, 9 inches, no, it's 11 inches, okay, on a fold. So when I open it up, I'm going to be having like 22 inches. So what I did was to add 10 to 12 inches extra to it to enable it to gather very well when I do it. So now I'm going to be cutting this up. They're going to be of equal length because I'm just going to be placing it on the sleeve. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut 3 for one side of the sleeve and another 3 for the other part of the sleeve. So this is one set. I'll go ahead and cut out small. Last stuff I went ahead to cut out was my belt because I wanted it to have a belt. So that's another thing I went ahead to cut out from. It's going to be having a band or a collar, okay, at the neck area, but that will be after I'm done joining my dress together. So the band is going to be 5 inches bold, okay. You can decide to make it, depends on the material you have, you can decide to give it a tiny belt. All right, the boldness of your belt is up to you. All right, so I think I'll be working with a boldness of 2.5 inches. Now this is short, I still have to add extra. I'm going to join it. All right, so I decided to work with 2.5 inches for the boldness of, on a fold it's 2.5 inches. I don't even know what I know is, I know it's not going to be too bold, okay. So I'm splitting down my 5 inches, so my boldness is 2.5 inches. I'm still going to fold it, maybe giving me 1.25 inches on a fold. All right, so what I have to do is I'm going to go ahead and join these two together, so it's going to give me a very long strap that will go around my waist. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing, this is the front piece of my shirt. So I went ahead to fold my zipper allowance, this which I've done, sorry, my button allowance which I've done, then I also folded the bottom parts of it. So the next we're going to be doing now is to cut out the neck. Okay, remember I said earlier it's going to be 3 by 3, so the width is going to be 3 inches and the depth is also going to be 3 inches. So now I'll go ahead and cut it out. Alright, so I'm done cutting it out. I'll now go ahead and join these two shoulders together, like my front shoulder and my back shoulder together. So the next thing I'll be talking on now is the sleeve. Alright, so this is my sleeve. I'm going to be shaping the sleeve first. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. Alright, so now at this point I'm going to be marking my bust measurement here. You mark whatever you have as a bust measurement. Then at this point you mark your round sleeve measurement. Alright, so I have, let me say 5.5 inches. So I'm also going to mark it here. Then I'm going to connect this to this. This line is going to serve as an imaginary line. I'm marking it at the right side of the fabric because that is to enable me know where I'm going to stop while putting the pleats. Alright, so okay, so this is what I have. Then the next thing I'll go ahead and do now is, remember we have 3 ties of lace. Alright, so you can decide to make your own 4 or 5. The choice is totally yours on what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to place my tape back to my start point. Okay, now this is my distance I'm going to be using to form my ties. So check how long it is. We have 5.5 inches. Now where do you want this to start from? Okay. So now I want mine to start that from I want it to start from 8 inches. So I'm going to mark this across. This is at 8 inches. This is where my ties are going to start from. Then from these 8 inches, let me check how many inches I have left. I have 9 inches left. And I'm going to share it into 3. That means I'm going to have one from this point. Another one is going to start from 3. And another one is going to start from 6. I'm marking this chalk across. So from here now, you have to 6. One is here, one is here, one is here. Alright? So this is what we have. Then you go ahead and open this up. Alright? Now this is what I'm going to do now. This is my ties. So now, you can decide to use your needle and thread to form gathers, or you can decide to do the gathers on your sewing machine. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'll go ahead and to make pleats on top of this. Alright? This is what I'm going to do. And I'll also pick another one. The same thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to do it here, and I'm also going to do it here. You can decide to start from this bottom one, alright? Then do this one and this one, so that it will not be too bulky on you. So I'm done creating the ties, joining it to my sleeve. This is what I have. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to join it to my shirt. Alright, I'm going to join it to my shoulders, then I'll shape my dress. So this is my shirt. I'll put this way and join it to the shoulders. Then after which I run a stitch on the sides for shaping. So now the next thing we'll be talking on is the collar. Alright, so now it's not going to be a foreign color, it's just going to be a small. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure around our neck. What do we have around our neck? So pick your tape and take your measurements around the neck. So here now I have 19.75 inches. Alright, that is what I have. So I'm going to be adding extra 1 inch to it, making it 20.5 inches. So the length of my collar is going to be 20.5 inches. And the boldness is going to be 2 inches on a fold. You can decide to make 2.5 inches on a fold, depends on how bold you want it to be. But I'm working with 2 inches on a fold. So now I'll go ahead and put on this. Alright. Now, then I'm going to be marking the length. So remember we have 19.75 inches. And this is going to be adding extra 1 inch to it, making it 20.5 inches. 20.75 inches, sorry. So this is what I have for my band. I'll go ahead and iron it. Then I'll show you what next. You can decide to like join it this way entirely, but that's not what I'm going to be doing. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it in this way. Folding one part of it, I'm going to fold it in and run a stitch on it. Also do the same thing to this part, folding a little and run a stitch on it. Then turn it out. So after stitching on it, this is what I have. Then I'll go ahead and turn this out this way. Do the same thing for this other edge. Alright. So now I'm going to bring my shirts. This is my shirts. Alright. This is where I have my shirt. So I'll go ahead and join it. I'll be joining the band to my neckline. I'll go ahead and run a stitch on it. Then fold it in and top stitch on it. Then our shirt is ready. I went ahead to top stitch on my collar. I've stitched it already. This is what I have. Then I put it up to top stitch on it so that I'll close up the rough edges.